Hello, and welcome to the 2026 yearly cards of the Magi reading. And I'm really excited to get into this one because we have just closed out a 9-year 2025, which was a lot about endings. It was a very chaotic year, lots of confusion, lots of clearing, lots of healing, lots of self work to be done in 2025. But now we're stepping into 2026. And 2026, numerologically, is a year of beginnings. And certainly, this environment of this Ace of Hearts is supporting that idea. And I am looking forward to sharing all we've got going on in this 2026. Just looking around the room here, we've got all four tens of the deck are in this reading. Tens are about coming together in gatherings, it's power in numbers and success through connectedness in groups. So that's probably going to be pretty prominent this year of 2026. And we've also got three queens here. The ladies are showing up pretty significantly, which could indicate from a spiritual perspective that we're stepping into more divine feminine on this planet. So there's lots to get into for this yearly 2026 reading, and a little bit different than I do for my monthly readings. We're going to interpret each of these periods down here as 52-day periods throughout the year. So I really suggest that you actually save this video for later so that you can return at later times to review what's going on in different 52-day periods this year and to get a reminder on how to lean into the best energy this year to get the max outcome for your benefit. So just that suggestion for you. And of course, thank you so much for being here on my channel. Feel free to like and subscribe if you are not already subscribed. And without further ado, let's get into it. And we're going to start with this two of diamonds here in the long range position. And now cards in the long range position are typically where we're going to focus a lot of our attention or spend a lot of our time during this year. And twos are about the coming together. There's about a partnership. And diamonds are about money or values and business in a lot of ways. So this is indicating that this year you're going to have success through business partnerships. I mean, it doesn't have to be just through business. It could be any type of relationship, but business is highlighted because this is a diamond. And so money can be made through business partnerships, business deals. That's going to play a major role this year for you. Success is going to be through working with others, whether you allow others to help you, to guide you. Maybe you get some additional VA support. There's something like this coming together of working with other people that's actually really going to benefit you. And it's also going to be helpful because you're going to share some risk, right? If you're doing some sort of partnership or deal with somebody, then there's a little bit of risk sharing as well. You can think about this year being a lot of calls, a lot of communication, emails, appointments, meetings, etc., related to business partnerships or related to money in some way. And overall, this influence is actually quite favorable for making money. But again, it's really encouraging this partnership approach to business and to making money. Now, this I see this influence both on an individual, more of a personal basis, but also then on a global scale. It could be indicating that in general, there's going to be more talk about money this year of 2026. We also have this 10 of diamonds here. So these are really showing up to say there's going to be money focus this year, both in people's personal lives, but also on the grander scheme of things. You know, who knows? Nobody talks about tariffs or other kind of policies related to that, the stock market. There's going to be money discussions this year based on these two cards here. And the affirmation for the two of diamonds is this is a year of business deals, of business communication, and money agreements, and money meetings that are with others. As we scoot over here, we go to the 10 of diamonds. Now, the 10 of diamonds is in what's called the Pluto period. Okay. And this is spotlighting, as I just said, a lot of money matters. They're going to be at the forefront this year for you, both personally and probably on a larger scale. And tens are large, there are large amounts of. So when we're seeing the 10 of diamonds here, This is referring not to small amounts of money. This is referring to pretty big amounts of money. Now, whether this is directly related to you or indirectly, there's going to be some focus around money. But this card is really encouraging because Pluto encourages us to make changes. And it often happens from within. And so, if there is a goal, if there's an amount of money that you're trying to achieve or gather, this card in this position is indicating that by going within, by changing internally, going through some personal growth, that is actually going to help you to get to achieve that sum of money that you are looking for. On a deeper level, however, this 10 of diamonds is indicating that this is an expansion of values. Okay. And so it could be that your values are expanding, perhaps that your self worth has changed. And as a result of that, your outside world is going to change based on your internal self. So it could be a year that you're really looking at, what am I worth? What does that look like in my life? And maybe you're leaning in more to this abundant type of mindset rather than limiting what you are worthy of or what you are able to achieve or obtain. Understanding that really the one of the biggest barriers to us achieving wealth consciousness is our own thought process around it, is our limited thinking, is our personal value of ourself and our self-worth. And so this card is indicating by adjusting your own self-worth, doing that internal work, it could lead you basically to have greater growth financially in your outside world. So how much are you going to allow yourself to have in terms of finances? And this internal change is going to lead you to the success. And it could be difficult at times because, again, it is in this Pluto position, which can indicate some difficulties. But if you push through it and if you do this self work, self reflection, also supported down here by this Queen of Spades, which is the card of self reflection. Now, the 10 of diamonds affirmation is, I desire a large sum of money and I am transformed by this desire and possibly challenged by dealing with large sums of money in some way, shape, or form. As we scoot over here, we have the Nine of Hearts. Now, the Nine of Hearts is in what's called the result position here. And these cards of Pluto and the result are often read together. Basically, it says by overcoming this, by overcoming the Pluto situation, by doing this self reflection, expansion of values, this is going to lead in some ways to this Nine of Hearts here. Now, nines are in general about endings, as I just mentioned at the beginning of this. And hearts are about relationships, it can be about home. And on a direct level, the Nine of Hearts can indicate an ending in a relationship, an important relationship if you're in your life. That is a possibility, although not necessarily the case. There is something about an ending, though, an ending in a personal relationship that's coming about this year. And you might even sense this relationship coming to an end. You may even think that on some level that it needs to happen, even though it's difficult for it to happen, but you may sense that actually the ending of this relationship is going to be better for you overall. And the idea here is that by this ending of this particular relationship, you are opening yourself up to other opportunities that are ultimately going to be up leveling for you and are going to be better for your own good. This card, really the primary thing around this card, whether it be a big loss in relationship or not, it's asking you to let go of attachments. And that's the main reason here. It's saying, letting go of personal attachments to other people. And basically, by letting go and surrendering to this and not trying to control other people or how the relationship goes, you are going to be transformed to really higher levels of being, spiritually higher levels of awareness. And it's again, it's going to ultimately lead to new beginnings in personal relationships where you then can attract to you with something that's a better fit for where you are now. Because it's very likely that a lot of you have gone through a lot of transition and transformation, at least in 2025. And so, as our internal selves change, so do our outside worlds. And so it could be that this is a catching up in some ways that as you have adjusted and changed, so too will your relationships adjust and change. So that is a possibility here. And again, leaning into that understanding that, I let go of attachments, understanding that some relationships come in for a season. They are not always meant to be a lifetime. And understanding again that others will flow into your life. The Nine of Hearts affirmation is I release old relationships that are no longer serving my highest good. I learn to love without attachment. Okay. Now, this takes us really right up to this Ace of Hearts here, which is in the environment position, which is basically like the flavor of the year. It's kind of like what the vibe is going to be, and a little bit of what the focus is going to be for you this year, but it could be playing a part more in the background. Now, an ace is initiatory energy. It's a beginning energy. It's an excitement. It's where you want to put kind of your focus and your interest. And it's a desire at a basic level. And hearts here is indicating a desire for love in some ways. But the ace of hearts is the first card in the deck. And the ace of hearts indicates to us it always starts with the self. Okay. And so at the fundamental level, the Ace of Hearts is talking about new beginnings with your own self, with love and your relationship with yourself. That's what starts first. And so there's this sense of you're going to have a lot of joy, you're going to have a lot of pleasure this year, especially by focusing on you, actually, and what your needs are. And by doing that, by focusing on you and what your needs are, you are then going to attract, okay, that fulfilling relationship that's going to meet you on a deeper level. Okay. So the Ace of Hearts here, overall theme is filling your cup up, filling yourself up, and putting out there what you desire, experiencing joy, experiencing pleasure, etc. And in doing so, you will then attract those relationships to you that you desire. So, Ace of Hearts is about new beginnings. It can be a new beginning in a relationship that comes on board this year. Any new relationships, by the way, started this year, 2026, are going to be really blessed and they're going to be really fulfilling. Okay. So, any new relationships that you start this year. So, keep that in mind with this Nine of Hearts. Yes, one might come to an end, but do know that the theme this year is a new one coming on board. There's something about starting a new love affair potentially this year. You might even have a new baby this year. Now, we scoot over here to the Jack of Clubs and the 10 of Hearts. Now, this is in what is called the Mercury position, and Mercury positions are fast moving energy. Jack of Clubs is known as a highly creative, fast thinking, idea oriented energy that is going to be your gift, not only for this 52-day period starting January 1st but also throughout this entire year. So, this is a great time to apply this creativity to projects, to tasks about writing, anything related to communication. You're going to get some ideas that could be advanced further times. Make sure you're writing down any ideas that come through because, again, this is fast moving. So, ideas could be flowing to you really quickly. And this is also a card, jacks are about initiation. Okay. It's like you're being initiated into the royal court through this jack. And so you also could have some initiations into new ways of thinking and new communication. So overall, just a super powerfully creative card. So lean into that this year. Below that, we've got the 10 of Hearts and the 10 of Hearts, big energy again. Tens are about groups. It's socially oriented because it's a heart. And so the 10 of Hearts is indicating possibly even sudden that you have some sudden success socially, in areas of communication, publishing, speaking, those sorts of things. Really anything socially, and you're going to be successful in group gatherings and that sort of thing. This is also a really good time, this first 52-day period of the year, to apply any kind of like advertising strategies and marketing strategies based on some of these new creative ideas you have. Okay. As we scoot over here, we go to what's called the Venus period. Now, Venus often relates to women, but it also relates to home and love and relationships. And we've got two tens here. Two tens are very strong cards. So we've got the 10 of clubs, and the 10 of clubs is about the mind, gathering around and related to the mind. This is a card that indicates you could have some good news coming your way. You're going to have some success with family, with friends. So, especially around social activities and any social activities that are related to the mind, intellectual discussions, that sort of thing, are going to be really successful during this period of time. And this period starts on February 22nd. Okay. And this is also a card that indicates if you have the right knowledge, the right information, that could potentially open up some doors for you in terms of connections, meeting new people, getting, connected with the right people at the right time kind of energy. So that could be coming up for you as well. Overall, it's going to be a period where you have a lot of satisfaction, a lot of acceptance by others. There's a lot of success with interactions with women specifically. And relationships with women are going to be pretty stimulating intellectually. And overall, things are going to be going really well in terms of this period of time. Beneath that, we've got the 10 of Spades. And the 10 of Spades is talking about success in really all aspects of your life. Okay. So we've got success in home, we've got success in work, we've got success in money, finances, and success with health. And also, again, with women and relationships with women, it's actually a really good influence for any marriages that are involved business together. That's actually really supported here. It's a good influence for like any working marriages. Okay. And any work that involves larger groups of people are going to be successful according to the card in this position. In fact, business expansion, growth, especially if you own your own business, is super, super favored here. And it indicates that you're going to have the resources that you need to expand your business. So, this is a year to do it. Also, with that numerological 1 year, it's a great time to expand kind of business endeavors. As we scoot over here, we go to the Mars period. Now, and the Mars period starts on April 15th. Okay. And we have the Two of Hearts here, and we have the Jack of Hearts as well. Now, Two of Hearts are two, as I mentioned earlier, are partnerships, people coming together. Hearts are, usually about love and romantic relationships in some ways. However, this is in the Mars period. And Mars is where we're putting a lot of action, we're putting a lot of energy towards, but Mars on the low side can be related to a lot of aggression. So this card actually very much cautions against over aggressiveness because it can lead to quarreling, it can lead to disruptions in the flow of things. However, on the other side of this is it's actually a really, really good influence for sex and sexual stimulation and sexual pleasure. So basically the idea is you can have some intense energy showing up this year through Mars. Now, in how it shows up in relationships will kind of be dependent on you and whomever you're with. If you can channel that kind of intense energy towards sex or towards activities that you enjoy doing together, great. Then that's a great way to use the energy. But if you don't, it could really result in kind of like over arguing and issues that come as a result of that. So channel your intense energy towards something positive and perhaps you can make, some good growth with that. Now, coming back to here with the 10 of spades, it said it supported any marriages that were kind of in business relationships. If if that's the case for you, this Two of Hearts and Mars could indicate you both could do some good work and could put some great energy towards work accomplishments if that's where you decide to focus your energy. If you can channel the energy in a positive way and control the energy, you really actually could reap a lot of benefits from it. This is also a card that indicates the expansion of your circle of male friends is supported by the Two of Hearts in this position. Below that, we have the Jack of Hearts. Now, the Jack of Hearts is the sacrifice card. And in this position, it could say that, you may end up doing things during this period of time or to some extent during the year that you wouldn't typically or normally do. Perhaps you are giving something up in the favor of a higher purpose. So, perhaps you are, giving up watching your typical TV show and instead spending 30 minutes meditating each day, for example. I'm not sure what it is, but it could be something that you're giving something up And it could be that you're giving it up for like a higher truth or a higher purpose or a spiritual reason. The Jack of Hearts in this Mars period does indicate that you are going to have mastery of your emotions and your passions. So that will help you with mitigating this Two of Hearts aggression up there. And overall, this Jack of Hearts, again, with that initiation energy with the Jack, could lead you to upgrade your actions to really higher pursuits, more selfless pursuits, maybe a little bit of humanitarian aspect with this Jack of Hearts here. Then we move over to the Queen of Clubs. Now, the Queen of Clubs and the Six of Spades are in what's called the Jupiter position. Jupiter is all about blessing. It's also about finances. So, what does the Queen of Clubs and the Six of Spades mean in this position? By the way, this Jupiter period would be starting on June 6th. Okay. So, the Queen of Clubs in this position is bringing you great organizational ability, quick-wittedness, great intuition. Your intuition's on point. This is really the card of the mind and intuition, and it's a powerful, powerful mind card here. It indicates some good ways that you possibly could make money or through creative writing, through being organized, through business acumen and good business skills. Though do caution, the one thing to caution around the Queen of Clubs is she's very quick-witted. Her mind is fast and she can be impatient because she is on her game and nothing really is stopping her. So do watch out for impatience. But otherwise, you've really got this great organizational support here for whatever business endeavors you're going to do this year. So that's really a wonderful support to have throughout the year here. Then below that, we have the Six of Spades, and sixes can be about monotonous in nature, so steadiness in nature. And the card showing up here is saying that any business things are going to be running smoothly. And it indicates no changes yet. It indicates that actually try to get more out of what you're already doing. So maximize what you're already doing, maybe expand what you're already doing rather than start something entirely new. That would be the recommendation based on this card here. And um, also about sixes, sixes are also about karma. So this is also indicating that there are some favors or some rewards that are owed to you based on good karma that you did in the past. And so those could be coming to you this year, particularly during this June 6th, 52-day period. And this card also encourages us to give as we would like to receive. So, the more you give, the more you're going to get back. So encourage you to practice that from the beginning of the year, actually, so that you can reap some of those benefits later on. Then we scoot over to the Queen of Spades and the Nine of Diamonds here. And this is in what's called the Saturn period. So Saturn is often about lessons, it's about teachings, but it also can be rewarding because it helps us to move and advance and grow. Now we have the Queen of Spades here, and this is the card of self mastery. This period, by the way, begins July 28th. And this is self mastery really to overcome any issues specifically related to health or any other problems you have. It's actually saying that by taking total responsibility for your health, for your circumstances, and by making necessary changes that you kind of know that you need to make, that is going to lead to really positive outcomes for your life and well-being. It could be hard work because, self-growth and reflection and self-mastery does take some work. So it could be some hard work, but it indicates that it's going to be worth it for you. And you're also going to really learn the big metaphysical secret, which is by improving your life from within, rather than looking at the outside and saying, "Oh, everything's wrong outside." It's like, no, no. What is it within myself that I can adjust, right? And then by adjusting myself in some way, shape, or form, my outer world is going to eventually reflect that by the law of cause and effect. So tune in and do what changes are necessary, but understand that you're going to have a lot of rewards from doing any of that self-improvement type of work. Now below that, we've got another nine here. So we've got these two nines, and actually we have three nines. We've got three nines here. So the Nine of Diamonds is ultimately about letting go of something valued. And that could be a job, that could be a person, that can show up in many ways. Now, this ending in this particular position, this card in this particular position is saying that this ending does actually have a very special lesson for you. There's something that it's meant to teach you. Again, this is in the Saturn period. and in the Saturn position, and there are lessons involved. So tune in to what this ending of a value is teaching you. It's important to make note of this. There is a karmic influence to this as well. So it's also indicating to make sure that you're fair in any sort of dealings. Like, don't deviate from being fair or like legitimate in your interactions or your doings, because it's a karmic influence. You're gonna get payback for that. It's gonna hit you pretty quickly. So important to be fair and to be legit and authentic in your interactions and your dealings so that you don't have that negative karmic kickback. So do be aware of that. As long as you do that, this should be overall pretty successful. This card also, though, could indicate a disappointment around money or a disappointment around health, some sort of illness, but we have that Queen of Spades above it. So to me, that indicates that the Queen of Spades is going to mitigate with that self mastery. It's going to mitigate any negative effects about this Nine of Diamonds here. So don't worry too much about it. But again, allow yourself to do whatever self growth needs to happen, because that's the thing that's going to lead you to success here. So then we scoot over the Nine of Clubs and the Queen of Diamonds. And this is in what's called the Uranus period. And Uranus is surprises, the unexpected. So we have the Nine of Clubs, another nine. And the Nine of Clubs is related to kind of endings or changes in the ways that you are thinking. There's a mental shift that's going on, and or plans might be changed, or there's something that's changing in the mental world, the way you think, the way you planned, the way you organized, something like that. Perform on the low side in the card in this position could indicate frustration. It could indicate worry. This card is indicating it's not a good time for real estate speculation, but we're going to have, let me scoot over here, or we're going to have different info about that. But it says specifically about speculation. Okay. Nothing that's already been done from my understanding of reading these cards. So it's just saying don't do anything that's like speculative right now. And it also talks about not expecting a lot from other people, which goes back to what kind of we talked about here, which is letting go of attachment to others. Okay. So don't put too many expectations during this time related to others, but there's going to be some sort of like an ending to a plan or something that you've been had mentally like preoccupying. So whether this is a positive or a negative, it depends on your circumstance and it depends on your perspective. It could be that there's a project or a mental preoccupation that comes to completion, and that's a positive completion and ending. And or it could be something else that comes to an end that wasn't necessarily desired. So it just kind of really depends. It's up to you and it's up to your perspective on how you take that. Below, we have the Queen of Diamonds. Now, the Queen of Diamonds is a beautiful influence here, really indicating financial success and prosperity. In this situation, it's positive for a business related to real estate, and the use of any psychic gifts are really positive here. It's also gives you really good business sense and business acumen, and it's also supporting during this time, which would be September 18th forward, another good time for marketing. So you kind of got two marketing spots right here at the beginning of the year and in September that are encouraging you to capitalize on that. It could indicate some good gains that come to you and maybe gains that are unexpected in some ways. One caution here with the Queen of Diamonds is she can be impulsive and do a lot of shopping. So do be aware around impulsive shopping during this time. Next, we scoot over to the Six of Hearts and the King of Spades, and these are in what's called the Neptune position here. And this begins on November 9th. And for the Six of Hearts, it says that you're not likely to travel during this time. Even if you had planned on it, it sounds like it's not going to happen. And instead, you're meant to relax. You're meant to be at home, enjoy your family, enjoy your relationships. The Six of Hearts and Neptune is indicating that relationships, your interpersonal life and family and marriage, or whatever relationships you have, are going to be really going smoothly at this point in time. And so this card's indicating enjoy it. Spend that time with your loved ones. It indicates that anything going on, any distant affairs or foreign business across the seas is going to go well, go smoothly, but you don't need to be doing anything or going anywhere for it. It's just going to be riding along at this time. And this is a card that's also indicating tune in to your own self, to your own higher self, do some self reflection and meditating during this time because by tuning into and connecting and allowing your subconscious to kind of surface, maybe through dream work as well, you're going to have a lot of spiritual revelations. And also, the Six of Hearts in this position could indicate that you are deepening or having greater understanding about your purpose here on Earth. So tune in. Make sure to set aside some time to tune in. And this influence can be for the entire year, not just this period of time. So do pay attention to your inner self and inner reflections because it could bring you some really important information this year. Now, below that, we have the King of Spades, and the King of Spades, the master of the deck, and all sorts of things. So, the King of Spades in this Neptune position is saying that this is going to be a spiritual, a dreamlike period. It literally is the most successful and powerful card in the whole deck. And so, it basically says you can have success in whatever you desire to accomplish during this period of time. Whatever goal it is that you set your mind to, you can accomplish it. So lean into that supportive energy there. And especially around kind of Neptune themes, which might include travel, foreign affairs, spiritual interests, overcoming addiction also could be happening this year or in this later period in 2026. And you also have access to wisdom and to truth. And so you've got this mastery by the end of this year. And perhaps it's indicating that really throughout the year, you're kind of leaning up and gaining this master of knowledge info throughout the year in the spiritual growth and development. So all in all, wow, 2026 is going to be a wonderful year, I think, especially in comparison to this ending of this 9 year, which is pretty tough. 2025, 2026, we definitely got some fresh new energy coming on board. Okay. And just some highlights here is in the background is going to be this self love. Okay. There's going to be self love work in the background. We're all going to have to do it. Fill up your own cup. Figure out what makes you happy and what you love. And in return, that's going to bring you benefit in relationships where you're going to need to let go of attachments. You could potentially have some endings of relationships this year, but also keep in mind that any endings are really going to lead you back to new beginnings in relationships too this year. We also have really favored is a lot of group work, a lot of collaboration, business partnerships are coming together here. Big money is going to be a focus this year. Now, whether it's directly related to you or indirectly related to you, the topics of money is going to be a present topic basically for 2026. But with all this 10 energy here, you're going to be really supportive in group settings, in doing things together, in getting yourself out there. You also really have this gift of organization, of intuition. So listen to it, heed that advice. Be wary of over aggressiveness, especially in this Mars period here, and channel that kind of intense energy into something that could be beneficial. So, overall, what a wonderful year ahead. I'm looking forward to it. Save this video, as I mentioned before, so that you can easily come back to it. And just so you know, each one of you, okay, has your own literally your own reading for every single year of your life. So whether you're 25 or you're 52 or you're 74, every single year of your life literally has a 52-day period laid out with cards just like this that are very specific to you and what your specific year looks like. Okay. So if you are interested and you want to know what is truly in the cards for you, don't hesitate to reach out and book a Cards of the Magi reading with me. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you back here for the monthly reading.